Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well today. Today, I'm quite interested in talking about something that has genuinely really taken off this year, and that is my ability to get shit done. My ability to get all my kind of like small tasks, big tasks, reach my goals that much quicker has really been, I guess, the theme for this year so far. It never used to be the case. Like, I genuinely used to procrastinate so much. I would never really get stuff done. I would always be getting myself distracted, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram, not really getting the shit that I wanted to do done. And these are kind of like my tips for how I've really hit the ground running this year. Literally from January to March, I've never really achieved these amount of goals before in the space of time that I have. And I really put it down to 4 or 5 things that I have decided to embody, decided to take on, decided to make habits. If you're somebody that has big goals and you want to achieve a lot and you want to get this success, then this is the video for you, and this is how I've done it, and this is how I continue to do it. I've never been more productive and yet not exhausted in my life, and I swear this is how I've done it. So if you're interested in leveling up, getting your to-do list done and reaching those goals that much quicker, then keep on watching. So I think the biggest one, in my opinion, is organization. I used to absolutely resist this. I used to really resist being organized and prepping things because I thought it was long. I thought it was just irritating. I didn't want to do it. My body would reject it. I just didn't like organization. I thought I could just wing stuff. I just didn't think that it was necessary for me to get to where I wanted to be, and I could not have been more wrong. Taking the time, literally 15 to 20 minutes, to prep what you need to do the next day or your goals for the next day is absolutely essential. I've created a big list of my goals for this year, and then I've sort of like roughly allocated it to each month. So, you know, this first part of the year, this quarter, I really wanted to focus on my businesses and getting up and running on YouTube again. So that's been my main focus. And then per week, I've really tried to incorporate like all my different things that I have going on and make sure I'm doing bits and bobs from either one each week. And then what I do every evening is I look at my rough plan for the month, the week, but mostly the week, and delegate those tasks, those little things that I need to do each day. And it's not just that either. I also make sure that I have my meals planned, have my schedule ready to go, and I also have my appointments and reminders in there as well, so that, you know, I'm not worrying about, you know, what am I going to have for dinner, like what am I going to eat today, and I don't end up spending loads of time making meals because I've already prepared what I'm going to be eating that day. Or my schedule, like I know what my day looks like, so, you know, when I'm behind on a task, I'm like, right, come on Hattie, like keep going, you've got this and this to do still. One big part of what makes it successful and what makes my productivity actually happen is the fact that there is variety. I will do, like, you know, a stretch of 30 to 45 minutes on one task, and then I will switch it to something else, because I really don't think that staring at something for a really long period of time is helpful, and it doesn't stimulate your brain, and it can kind of obviously contribute to being bored. Obviously, if you're in flow state, sometimes, you know, it's easy to just like get in something for 3 hours, but if you're trying to be as productive as you can each day, I think it's good to have variety. I think it's good to change up your tasks. And I think it's good to have 45 or 30-minute stretches and then have a break. And that's what I tend to do. So each day I'm like, okay, I'm doing something different today. I'm planning my YouTube video for 15 minutes or making TikToks for like 45 minutes. And I think it changes things up, it keeps things exciting, and I genuinely wake up and I'm like, I'm excited to be productive today. I'm excited to like do my tasks because there's variety, because I know what's up, and because I can follow like a structure. It doesn't seem so daunting, especially when you might be more susceptible to procrastinating. Not having a to-do list and letting your mind be like, right, I need to do this, I need to do that, I also need to do that, oh shit, wait, actually I forgot about that. You find it overwhelming, and the moment you write it down, the moment you put it down on paper and like see it kind of like organized per day, first of all, it seems manageable, and second of all, it doesn't seem so overwhelming, because I think when things are in your head, you haven't written them down, they're kind of up in the air. If I don't write things down, for example, right, when I get home I need to fake tan, do my washing, make some food, then I need to sit down and, you know, do a task. If I don't write that down, I find that more overwhelming because I get distracted, or I'm thinking, oh wait, which one should I do first? If you put it in a structured order, it means that you're like, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to worry about whether or not I've done this task or not. I know that this one needs to come come first, and then I'll do that one, for example. I think going on from that then is not only being organised, but also planning. Again, I used to reject planning. I absolutely hated it. Even when I was filming like YouTube videos like this, I'd be like, you know what, I've picked a topic and I'm just gonna wing it when I go on camera. And I ended up wasting so much more time and feeling so much more overwhelmed with YouTube than I needed to be. Now I plan it. I spend seriously just like 15 minutes. I think for the plan for this video took me about 5 minutes, because if I have points, I know what I want to say. I was causing myself so much more angst and irritation and resentment towards doing YouTube videos than was necessary. And my videos went from a filming time of like an hour to a filming time of 30 minutes, which I then obviously cut down by half. Whereas back in the day, I'd, waste an extra half an hour that I'd then also have to cut down for 45 minutes of. It made no sense. Finding time specifically for organising and planning, evening, morning, whatever it might be, is absolutely essential. It literally takes up a minuscule part of your time, and it has the biggest difference. It literally leads to better time management, not getting demotivated because everything seems that much more manageable. Having a morning routine has increased my productivity and my energy and my mental capacity tenfold. I remember looking at TikToks and like that, 5 till 9 routine or that girl routine, and I scorned at it. I was so dismissive of it. I was like, that's not gonna be me. That could never be me. I could never do that. That just must be something that people just show for social media. It's not real life. It is. The 1%, all of them stick to a routine, and I'm pretty sure a big majority of that 1% and those successful people have a morning routine that they do on a regular basis. I'm not saying do it every day. I think it's unrealistic to have like a morning routine that you stick to every day. Life happens, it's just normal. But if you can stick to it for a majority of the time, it is essential. And what should be within this morning routine is, first of all, waking up early. That obviously requires going to bed earlier, but I'll get to that in a minute with the evening routine. But for the morning routine, it's really essential that you get up early. Most of us have a 9 till 5. Most of us have some kind of like work structure. So it's really important essentially to have at least two or 3 hours before you start work to yourself that is specifically for you. Some people wake up at 5. I tend to wake up at 6, and I will just get ready, make my bed first thing, make my bed, have like 3 or 4 gulps of water when I first wake up. Then I will go into the bathroom, do a little bit of makeup, and while I'm doing my makeup or skincare, I will do my morning mantra, which is to the effect of, you're immaculate, you deserve everything that you have, you're going to continue to take any opportunity that you can, you are loved, you are special, all that kind of thing. You can find mantras online, definitely go and do that. And do your mantra in your mirror and look at yourself in your mirror and speak to yourself and genuinely feel the words that you're saying about yourself. It is so powerful. I just really rarely feel that down on myself anymore because I speak to myself in the way that I do each morning. After that, I'll go into my vitamins. I will then have a nutritious breakfast. I then go to the gym or do some kind of exercise. It might be yoga, it might be stretches. And while I'm at the gym, I listen to affirmations. At the moment, I'm listening to Money Affirmations by Lavender. Really, really enjoy listening to them. It just really, again, is like reprogramming, changing my brain chemistry to attract things that I want to attract into my life. And this is a very essential part of my morning routine. It is really important to have your mantras and your affirmations early in the morning to set you up for success for the day. And I personally think the entire routine, this entire self-care, self-love, and delegated time to myself and my mental and physical well-being makes me productive, because by the time you go to work, you've already chosen yourself. You've already worked on your body, you've already worked on your mind. And I seriously cannot think of a better way to set you up for success throughout the day. I cannot think of a better way to be productive, because you're like, I've already been productive and it's only 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever time you go to work. That is a game changer for real. It is so important that you do that and you choose yourself every day, because it's going to set you up for wanting to love yourself more, and therefore you're going to be more motivated with your goals. If you're already looking after yourself in the way that you are in that first part of the day, the most precious part of the day, you're going to be motivated because you're like, I want to do this for myself. I want to achieve this goal for myself. I'm already looking after myself in this way. I want to achieve and I want to work towards this goal because I love myself that much and I want this particular achievement for myself. It might not seem like a direct link, but it really is. It puts you in that frame of mind to want to choose yourself every day. And that usually is, completing tasks and doing things that are going to create a better life for yourself. And by the way, I've developed this routine over time. I started off with just the gym, or I started off with just, my morning mantra, or I don't remember, but it built up over time. I didn't just immediately write these 5 things in the morning, this is what I swear by. No, it built up over time. So give yourself that grace. Fundamentally, choosing yourself and having that morning routine, having that time to yourself is going to set you up so well. Your brain is going to be like, woo, I've got so much energy, I like myself. It's just going to give you that energy to be productive. Following on from that then is also having an evening routine. And I would say reserve this generally for weekdays. I'm not saying the weekend. I have a different feeling about the weekend. For the weekdays, it's really good to have an evening routine. It's not as if you're probably going to be going on nights out and that kind of thing. Evening and morning routines can be interchangeable. You can switch out habits with different ones. You figure out what's best for you. So for example, some people meditate in the morning, whereas I prefer to meditate at night. So my evening routine tends to consist of cooking myself some kind of nutritious meal. When I make food, I end up not cooking each night because I've got sort of 2 portions that I can then have the next night. When I come home after a long day, I can then have my dinner on the day that I haven't needed to cook, and I can get more stuff done in the evening after work that I need to do. It just kind of creates that time for yourself and for your additional tasks that you need to get done in the evening. So I would say definitely taking time to cook or prep your meals is really helpful. To set myself up for success in the evening is I will ensure that I wind down. If you're literally wired before you go to sleep, you're not going to get your 8 hours sleep, which is essential for productivity. Sleep is literally more important than anything else in the world. Obviously food and water is important, but sleep is just, we don't understand how important sleep is. You cannot be productive without enough sleep, and you cannot be productive without, good quality sleep. It's really great because when you go to bed early and you've you're tired and you've kind of got yourself into a place where you're ready to go to bed, you wake up early naturally. It doesn't seem so laborious getting up. We all hate having to get up when we're tired, but when you set yourself up for success when it comes to putting yourself in that sleep mode earlier on in the evening, it means that you have a deeper sleep, you have a better quality sleep, and you literally do wake up more likely naturally earlier anyway. So it just has the greatest knock-on effect. So what I do to get myself into sleep mode is I try to avoid doing really any kind of work past about 8 o'clock. So I will just try and avoid screens, or if I do have screen on, it will be a podcast, so I'm not really watching something, so that it's not stimulating my eyes, because I think that's where people struggle to get good sleep, because they're so overstimulated by the screens that we engage with, most of us engage with every day and all day. What I would do is then do a quick 10-minute meditation. I really do struggle, on a real note, to meditate a lot of the time. My brain is always whirring away. I'm always thinking about the next thing I want to do. I'm always thinking, oh shit, I haven't done this and this. It's just the nature of people that want a lot for themselves. I will try and meditate. I'll do a guided meditation to really get myself in the zone, really try and focus and, follow the guide, because it really grounds you. It makes you stay in the present. I think when your brain is whirring away, it's because you're thinking of the past or you're thinking of the future. Me, it's always the future. I'm always anxious about the future and what it's gonna look like for me and what I need to do to kind of control that. And meditating really grounds you. It really gets you back into the present, and it kind of helps you stop thinking about the past or the future. And once I kind of done that, I do feel more able to then be right, focus on the present tense for a minute. I've calmed down, my brain's no longer as anxious. Now it's time to journal, now it's time to plan my day. And that really is where the anxiety tends to just go. It just gets all of that stuff down into a physical form, and it's a huge release. It just releases all that anxiety, all that like anxiety that does not lead to productivity and in fact leads to procrastination, and it leads to overthinking, which is also not productive. I will try to avoid going on my phone if I can help it, and instead read. Reading is great for productivity. It makes you a more empathetic person. What's great about reading is it does sort of make you tired, or I find that it winds me down. It doesn't overstimulate me. When I'm on TikTok, I'm thinking, oh shit, this person's saying that I need to do this to go viral or whatever. Like, it is just the worst thing you can look at before going to bed. And you have to have time away from trying to achieve your goals all the time in order to be productive. You have to have balance. You have to have that time away from it in order to be productive when it's necessary. It will be short-lived and it won't have longevity if you choose to not rest. So rest is really important. That goes hand in hand with sleeping. Having that time to be still and not be stimulated is going to make you more productive, because you're letting your brain rest. You're letting your brain have a break from thinking about being productive all the time, and that is productive in itself. On that note then, a big thing about being productive is enjoying life. And that's what I was saying earlier about having the weekend. You do not need to follow unless you want to. I mean, sometimes I wake up and go to the gym on like a Saturday or Sunday and do my morning routine, because actually I genuinely like it. For a good portion of my life, I would literally beat myself up for enjoying my life, having fun, having time with my friends, having social time, having great connections with people. It was very much a secondary, almost treat if I had been productive that day. And if I hadn't, I was always feeling guilty about going out or hanging out with friends or being social or having fun. Like, I don't think people talk about this enough. Like, I don't think there's much space for this within the sort of productivity, success, like community. Like for me, it's always like go, go, go. You're only gonna achieve your goals if you like dedicate your entire life to them. It's just not true. And also, you cannot have success without balance. You'll get to a point where you're so successful and you've done everything, and then you'll have nothing left, and you'll have like no connections left, and you'll have like nothing that makes life genuinely enjoyable left if all you're focusing on is that. And I've been there. I remember literally at school, it was absolutely ridiculous. I had an assignment due over Christmas, and my family had my entire family was there, and we went out for a Christmas meal, and I was sat there under the table, like the laptop under the table, writing out my essay. I'm so surprised my parents didn't say like, stop doing that, Hattie. Like, it is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I was so obsessed with being like a straight A student at school and like getting my A-levels and stuff, that I was literally at a Christmas meal, a time of year where you're supposed to be hanging out with your family, enjoying, just a time to reset and like, just enjoy other people and your community around you. I was doing a school assignment. That's fucked. I was like that for a really long time. Even now, I have to like grapple with my brain being like, you're not doing enough. You are always doing enough, and even if you do like 1 or 2 hours dedicated to your side hustle like per day, or even 30 minutes, that is enough. You need to have time to enjoy your life, have fun, go and do stuff, like not thinking about, I need to get content here, or I need to make sure that I reply to this email now. No. You need to have fun, you need to let loose, you need to enjoy your life. And that doesn't look the same for everybody. For some people it's a night out, some people it's having dinner with friends, some people it's, going and having face masks and a conversation, a pamper evening with their best mates, or it's going for a night drive or whatever, like just going to somebody's house and having a chat or meeting up with somebody for a coffee. You need people, you need connections, you need people around you to be productive, and you need to have time to be social, because even like having connections and having people around you is going to make you happier, and then you're going to have more energy. And some people get their energy from other people, especially if you're extroverted. Again, like the morning and evening routine is a very, very introverted kind of like energetic introverted recharge. But having social time, being with your friends, is a really important part of productivity and success, because those are the little pockets in life that make life exciting and that make life fun. And you cannot have productivity without play. You have to have that balance. And so I would say a big part of me being productive is socializing, having time with my friends. You can even see it as networking if you're that worried about it. You know, go to a networking event and socialize with people and have great conversations. That's really productive. Making connections with people, you're still enjoying other people's connection, you're still enjoying other people's energy, but you might see it as more you know, beneficial to your success in your future, but you're still getting that social time and like learning from other people, going to a talk and like listening to somebody explain their experience and explain their knowledge and discuss their expertise is so productive. You're learning from somebody, other people, spending time with your community and socializing is so important to being productive. It just gives you that release, and humans are the most important thing that you will ever have in your life, and it's really important to make that a priority. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed talking about this. I think as well, from somebody who has gone from that sort of like toxic productivity to now hopefully more stable, healthy productivity. Productivity is a really hard one, and I know society, you know, a lot of people in society are starting to sort of like acknowledge that the obsession with productivity is not healthy, and I totally get that. But there's a big difference between toxic productivity and positive productivity. And positive productivity means balance, equals balance. That's the crux of it. So as long as you have balance between your happiness and your self-care and your social time and then productivity, that's all you need to know, and you can choose what that balance looks like every day or every week. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've had some kind of value, taken some kind of value from it, and yeah, let me know down in the comments what your experience is with productivity, what your experience is with toxic productivity, stable productivity, or positive productivity. I'd really like to know, and yeah, with that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.